Hi, and welcome back to Focal Point AFR Talk. Brian Fisher is my name. The program is Focal Point. The network is AFR Talk. Talking here with Dale Schowengerdt, who's legal counsel with the Alliance Defending Freedom, one of the really first-class, first cabin, top-tier public interest law firms defending religious liberty and the First Amendment. And Dale, we were just talking just before the break about this appalling case in the state of Washington. So for our listeners that may be hearing about this case for the first time, walk us through what happened and how this thing got into court, and then bring us up to date about where things stand as of today.
This florist, her name is Baronelle Stutzman in rural Washington, had a client that named Robert Ingersoll. For 9 years, she knew he identified himself as homosexual, and that didn't make any difference to her, and the way she treated him as a customer, made floral arrangements for him for 9 years, and they had a very warm relationship. He came in one day and asked that she create the floral arrangements for his wedding ceremony to his same-sex partner. She grabbed his hand, said, "Robert, I can't because of my faith in Jesus Christ." And he was taken aback at first, but said he understood. She gave him referrals to other florists that didn't have a religious objection to that, and he left. Well, the Attorney General of Washington saw this story on the plaintiff's or Robert Ingersoll's Facebook page. So he took the extraordinary step. We haven't been able to find another example of an Attorney General in Washington doing this ever. Took the extraordinary step of suing Baronelle Stutzman and her floral shop, and basically asking for fines and attorney's fees and an injunction against her. And I tell you what, they are taking this case very aggressively. We had a hearing Friday. It was a mundane hearing on some procedural issues, and 6 assistant attorneys general showed up at the hearing for this in rural Washington. So it's really extraordinary, and I think it's really caught people off guard because you hear this from same-sex marriage proponents all the time that marriage will not affect the religious liberties of believers. Well, that's just not the case. And the florist case, the photographer case, the cake maker cases, I mean, these are coming in rapid succession, and they just prove that false.
Well, and we've seen with T-shirt makers in Kentucky, I mean, the list goes on.
Right. That's right.
Christians operating businesses now who find themselves in legal trouble for simply trying to operate and conduct their businesses according to their most deeply held religious convictions. So when we've said from the very beginning, I mean, one of the things I've always said, Dale, is that America is going to have to choose between the homosexual agenda and religious liberty, because we cannot have both. Every advance of the homosexual agenda comes at the expense of religious liberty. It's really a zero-sum game, and we're seeing that with this good-hearted florist in Washington. I mean, apparently from what you're saying, Dale, her customer, the homosexual customer, he'd been a good customer of hers for 9 years, never had any problems. She knew he was gay, didn't stop her from selling him floral arrangements for other situations. But this is where she personally had to draw the line. And he wasn't the one that tried to trigger the Attorney General into taking action against her. The Attorney General did this entirely on his own?
Entirely on his own.
Wow.
Now, I will say that the ACLU got involved after the fact and convinced the couple to file a lawsuit too. So, which we were surprised about because they had such a warm and friendly relationship. But so the couple has joined after the fact. But the Attorney General led this charge and is still leading this charge, and like I said, very aggressively with this lady who's just trying to live out her faith and run her business in accord with that faith.
Our guest has been Dale Schowengerdt of Alliance Defending Freedom. And Dale, could we have you back on as that case makes its way through the court system? I'd love to have you back on to keep us updated.
I'd love to talk about it. I'd love to, because it's an important case, and like I think you framed it right, that this is it's a zero-sum game, and as same-sex marriage advances in California, and if it advances elsewhere, it's going to have a huge impact on our freedom.
Our guest, Dale Schowengerdt of Alliance Defending Freedom. Dale, thank you for being on our program, and God bless you and the work you guys are doing at ADF.
Thanks very much, Brian. It's always a pleasure to be on.
All right, Dale, thank you very much. So there you